Hello, my name is Haley House, and along with Megan, Sarah, and Caroline, we will be presenting the advantages and disadvantages of virtual groups. Virtual groups offer various benefits and drawbacks for their participants. Some of the advantages include flexibility, increased documentation, increased productivity, and a good work-life balance. Some of the disadvantages include technical challenges, time zone challenges, communication challenges, and team cohesion issues. Among the advantages of virtual meetings is that offered unparalleled flexibility and convenience for the attendees. The lack of geographical boundaries accommodate international meetings. With no geographical boundaries, participants can join meetings from different parts of the world, from different time zones, making it easier to accommodate global teams and international clients. Virtual groups also enable each member to craft their own ideal workspace. Members are able to, without having to work in offices or meet in coffee shops or wherever the group is taking place, without having the boundaries of a physical workspace, they're able to craft their own ideal workspace. And lastly, virtual groups enable a greater number of participants to engage in the meeting. With a real office, increasing staff often requires moving into a larger office space. However, with a virtual group, you can scale your business or team without worrying how much square footage you need. There's no need to worry about increased power, heating, air conditioning because you are working virtually. Jocelyn Ho wrote an article about satisfaction productivity, factors crucial in fostering employee engagement. On the other hand, employers benefit as increased productivity contributes to better business performance. Now for the first disadvantage, and that is technical challenges. Virtual groups can present many technical challenges while groups are meeting. Virtual groups rely on internet, which is susceptible to many technical challenges. Participants in virtual groups may encounter issues such as unstable connections, audio and visual synchronization problems, or software compatibility glitches. The lack of knowledge regarding technology is also an issue, especially for workers who previously relied on in-house IT experts. There isn't one unified video platform that is universally adopted by all users, which is the last problem in technical challenges. Excuse me. 60% of remote workers have experienced technical difficulties while working remotely through a study by Actor in 2024. And it found that an average of workers spend 23 minutes a day working on technical issues. Virtual Latinos published an article saying, technology is the foundation of any cohesive virtual team, facilitating seamless communication, collaboration, and workflow management. However, it can challenges.
One of the biggest advantages of virtual teams is increased documentation. Unlike in-person meetings where notes can be lost or misinterpreted, virtual teams naturally generate written records. Conversations in email chats, threads, and project management tools create a clear history of discussions and assignments. This transparency ensures accountability, reducing misunderstandings, and allows team members to track progress over time. Documentation doesn't just help with record keeping, it actively improves team efficiency. Imagine if a new team member is joining an ongoing project. Instead of relying on verbal explanations, they can quickly catch up by reviewing meeting transcripts, clear documents, and past clips. Additionally, having written records means fewer repeated explanations, allowing for team to work faster and with greater clarity. The benefits of documentation go beyond immediate efficiency. They also provide long-term value. Companies and teams build knowledge bases over time, preventing valuable insights from being lost when employees leave. This ensures community, minimizes redundancy, and allows new team members to learn from past projects. Well-documented workflows help businesses refine their processes and adapt quickly to change, making documentation a strategic advantage. Now, let's talk about a major challenge of virtual teams, time zone challenges. When a team member works across different time zones, scheduling meetings can become difficult. A convenient time for one person may be in the middle of the night for another. This leads to delays in decision-making, longer feedback loops, and slows project progress, even when time differences create friction, making real-time collaboration a challenge. These time zone challenges directly impact productivity. When employees have little overlap in their work hours, spontaneous discussions and problem solving becomes harder. Instead of getting immediate responses, employees often have to wait hours or even until the next day for feedback. This can slow down projects, reduce engagement, and lead to miscommunication. Even with email and messaging apps, lack of real-time interactions can make it difficult to maintain a sense of teamwork.
Some of the other advantages that come with virtual groups are increased productivity and communication opportunities by allowing individuals the freedom to work at their own optimal pace through self-management. There's also an opportunity for lower physical issues, which increases communication, such as lower cases of commuting and issues like traffic, which could lead to increased timeliness. Additionally, there is opportunity for fewer sick days and fewer reasons that could prohibit physical participation in group meetings, such as disability or lack of transportation, which can lead to a more diverse and inclusive group. Another opportunity that can be provided through virtual groups is increased opportunity for conserved individuals. Some of these opportunities include more time to assess personal responses and proposals, and as previously stated, documentation, which provides the opportunity to pace your analysis of propositions, anonymous expression through anonymous polls and surveys, which may not be present outside of virtual groups, written communication, which gives the opportunity to present more thought out and concise questions and messages. Morrison Smith and Ruiz expound on this idea of asynchronous communication tools by stating that they allow collaborators to coordinate shared efforts across time and distance with the additional benefits of leaving a written communication history that supports accountability and traceability. Communication disadvantages, relationship challenges. Amidst the other disadvantages of virtual groups, a major aspect is communicational challenges. One of those challenges is the lack of face-to-face connection. The lack of face-to-face interactions can create a significant gap in your team's relationship, as these connections are essential for interpreting other forms of communication effectively. Norwich University writes, a lack of face-to-face contact may lead to lower team cohesion and a lack of rapport between team members. Spontaneous, informal communication, chatting over coffee or in a hallway, has shown to reduce conflict. However, it is hard to replicate that in a virtual setting. Additionally, the absence of nonverbal cues in virtual settings can hinder the overall team bonding and trust. Two researchers, Morrison Smith and Ruiz, gathered evidence from an evaluation of different forms of team connections and concluded that the absence of body language, subtle voice inflections, facial expressions, etc., cause delay in workers' decision whether to trust a collaborator and impede expression of their own trustworthiness. The researchers argue that without nonverbal cues, a significant gap is created in team communication, as the absence of these cues removes essential context and clarity from a person's message. Additionally, it can make the speaker feel unheard and lower their confidence, as the absence of active listening and nonverbal engagement leaves room for impression that either no one is paying attention or they do not support their message. Furthermore, isolation of team members can be an effect of virtual teams that can advance the pattern of team disconnect. Morrison Smith and Ruiz also established that isolation and feelings of alienation can have a negative effect on relationships among workers in geographically dispersed virtual teams, increasing the likelihood of feeling discomfort and reducing the likelihood of trusting team members that they do not know well. One of the major communication challenges within virtual groups is virtual setbacks. And one of the major ways this challenge arises is through delayed responses from the group. Not only is this a time zone challenge, but it can also be identified as a communication challenge. Morrison Smith and Ruiz state that delays in responses from collaborators can be frustrating, be problematic, lengthen the time required to solve issues, and drag out problems across multiple days, which is unnecessary. Another difficulty that could arise in environmental setbacks. One of the greatest forms of this is unmonitored distractions. In a study done by researchers Avaz and Teodorescu, it was determined that students who were in digital courses were twice as likely to get distracted by multitasking than students who were in a face-to-face course. Here, it shows that students in digital courses are 2 times as likely to get distracted by multitasking. From this study, it is determined that digital interactions for work-related reasons cause an increase in distractions and multitasking, a decrease in productivity, difficulty in duplicating monitored settings, and this example altogether highlights how digital interactions cause an increase in distractions and multitasking, thus reducing productivity. Whereas meeting in person, fewer opportunities to multitask or get distracted are presented due to the monitored setting of face-to-face interactions. There's difficulty in virtual groups duplicating the same monitored environment. I'm now going to hand it off to Caroline.
Okay. So another important advantage is improved work-life balance. There's no need for office space, traveling expenses, utilities, in companies' buildings, there's no lighting, plumbing. It can save workers and companies like a lot of money, and it helps. Having money does help the work-life balance because it can reduce stress and allow others to have savings for more recreational time or family time. It also eliminates long commutes and allows not only money but like people to have time with their family. People have to have time with themselves. They're not commuting hours to work. It also, like said before, it allows a work environment suited to the individual's needs. So, I mean, you work from home, your work and life are very intertwined and they're very balanced. A recent study in Forbes found that on average, workers who didn't work from home or who worked from home were 20% happier than those who didn't. A healthy work-life balance can result in productivity, long-lasting employees, and higher innovation. Basically, employees who like their job will stay at their company longer, and it fosters a better workplace culture and work relationships. And people with companies with happy employees attract new job hunters, and more people want to work for them, and it just increases productivity and success. One disadvantage, though, is team cohesion barriers because to have like a good workplace environment, you do have to have a stable team who all trust each other. But with online virtual groups, the lack of immediate interaction can slow down collaboration. It can arise, like conflict can arise, and it's very difficult to sort it out. There's, like said before, varying internet connectivity, and a lot of people don't use the same internet. Like somebody could have Verizon or T-Mobile, and there's problems in between technical groups with that. A lot of other people, like a problem came up with us is I didn't know how to use PowerPoint. I've only ever used Google Slides. So it just creates a broken team and there's no camaraderie. Other virtual barriers that prevent cohesion are language barriers, conflicting work styles, lack of clear roles, and cultural differences. Long-term results of a broken workforce team are high employee turnover, disengagement and missed opportunities, toxic attitudes such as resentment, distrust, and stress. In extreme cases, that can lead to harassment, discrimination, and unfair labor practices, and this is very damaging to a company's reputation. And these are all of our references, and that was our presentation. Thank you for listening.